Collider Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Natasha Martinez, and this is the daily show where we give you all the latest news in the world of movies, plus some insight into what it all means. Joining us today, Dennis Zen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of Collider Movie Talk. A lot of big news going on. I got to see Captain America Civil War for the second time last night. Just a reminder, we have our spoilers review up on our YouTube channel. Also, I'm going to go see X-Men Apocalypse tonight.
What?
And we're going to have a non-spoilers review on Monday.
Also joining us, Kristian Harloff.
What is that? Smell that? Victory.
And also joining us, one of the competitors on today's Movie Trivia Showdown. Please welcome JTE.
What's up, guys? Happy to be here. Movie Talk is a show I was born to be on, and I'm really jealous because you're seeing X-Men Apocalypse. I did not know this till now. I love X-Men, and I'm really jealous.
Nice. Last night, the long-awaited news was finally confirmed by the rap and Hail Caesar star Alden Ehrenreich has been officially cast as young Han Solo in the Star Wars story directed by Phil Miller and Chris Lord. Ehrenreich was universally praised following his breakout role in the Coen brothers feature and has been rumored to be at the top of the list now for weeks. Lord and Miller's Han Solo movie is set to begin production in January 2017 and won't hit theaters until 2018. But according to the rap's report, Lucasfilm has plans for the character to appear in Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Casting had to be locked down far in advance so the younger Solo could appear in the cameo for Gareth Edwards' spin-off. Disney declined to comment for the story. Dennis, what are your thoughts on Ehrenreich snagging the role of Han Solo?
I hadn't thought about him before until those rumors came up and said that he was kind of the front runner, because you and me, and especially you, were all for Taron Egerton, which I thought he would have been good in that role. But as soon as his name came up, it kind of like got in my head, and like the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? He has the look, the feel. I'm sure he can pull off the swagger. In Hail Caesar, which I thought was kind of disappointing, he was one of the best parts of that movie. So for me, I think it's a great fit, Kristian.
I actually am on the same page. This guy, he was a standout in Hail Caesar. Hail Caesar was a movie that I was really looking forward to. I thought, Coen Brothers, it looked like Coen Brothers magic, and it was a really disappointing movie, to be honest, but he was a standout. I think everybody was talking about him after this movie. And I remember he was in Beautiful Creatures, which is a movie no one should see. And then he was in this movie Stoker, which some people really enjoyed. He plays a darker character in that he's got range. He's got a lot of range, and obviously he did something right in those auditions, because from what I heard initially is that they were really high on Taron Egerton, and I was singing the Taron Egerton praises for a very long time. So this kid did something to really sway them that he was the right guy. So I have liked what Disney and Lucasfilm have done so far in casting. If they say he's the guy, he's the guy. I'm ready for it.
JT?
Yeah, I'm so conflicted with this movie because, that's cool news. And unfortunately, I did not see Hail Caesar, so I can't really say whether I think he's a great actor, even though everyone I know that's seen that movie says he's the best part of that film.
Yeah.
But I was never clamoring for a Han Solo movie. I don't need to see this character's backstory the same way like they announced a Yoda movie. I think these characters are such good archetypes. Like in the first films, he's a scoundrel. There's the new guy who's like the hero journey and the princess. I just don't feel like I never saw Han Solo said, I need to know that guy's backstory. I just saw a great character who's a scoundrel, who does what he's not supposed to do, but sometimes he does the right thing. So this casting, I think it's fantastic. I was with you. I think Sheridan would have been great. Was it Ty Sheridan? No, Ty Sheridan was it?
Taron Egerton.
Taron Egerton. I thought he would have been great. I loved him in Kingsman, even though I didn't love that movie as much as you and some other people that I know. But again, I can't get excited for this movie. I'm just kind of
until you see the trailer, though, too. You don't.
That's the thing. I think he's going to do great, and I think they'll do great. I think Rogue One, they're saying he's going to have a cameo more than likely. Yeah. I think that'll be fantastic. But every time I see it, I just feel like I'm going to have that feeling of, oh, that's good, but didn't really need it.
But to confirm, they haven't confirmed a Yoda movie.
No, they haven't confirmed it. But and I hope they don't do it because I don't want to see it.
Well, out of all the characters, though, he's the one to have a spin-off movie, right?
Solo?
Yeah. If you're going to do one,
there's enough.
He's the most natural fit.
Yeah, I think so, and I think there is a way to do this. But there's a epic chance for fail here. Because if he does not deliver, and this movie does not deliver, this is a character, you don't mess with this character unless you can really put it together. The thing that, to me, that I don't necessarily think they need to do is put him in Rogue One. The rumors is that he's going to be in Rogue One. Why? Just to introduce him to the fans? I mean, we don't need Han Solo in Rogue One, because that's where it gets a little tricky, because it's only a few months, I think, before Episode 4 happens.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so you're basically rebooting Han Solo then, because the Han Solo we know and love is around during that period of time. If you put him in the beforehand in this prequel thing to where it connects later on, then I'm okay with that. But it's a little tricky once you put him in Rogue One. But going back to what I just told you, let me see how it's executed before I judge it.
For me, Rogue One is the limit in terms of how far Ehrenreich should play Han Solo. They should never do anything past
that time period.
Don't do something that happens after A New Hope with him as Han Solo. It has to be all before. So if they do something where he has a cameo in Rogue One, that's almost like a flash forward from all the spin-off movies they plan on making, right? But we have Lord and Miller handling it. That's what kind of gives me a lot of hope.
Yeah.
That's why I'm conflicted. I love those directors. I think they're fantastic directors. They're the perfect choice for this. I would almost be better off if you told me he was only doing a cameo as Han Solo. Like, say they cast him to do a cameo in Rogue One and there was no Han Solo movie, I'd be happier with that.
I'm curious how, because I think that what this can do is that it can help the lore the same way that, and I know not everybody here reads the books and all that other stuff too, but like there are a lot of stories to be told as far as where it all connected and other things and other stories to be told in that time period. And another thing that people don't realize what a Han Solo movie can do is that a Han Solo movie can actually introduce you to new characters that they can spin off through there. So if there's a brand new character that is introduced in a Han Solo movie that you might not know, and you fall in love with that particular character or that particular, I don't know, maybe there's an underworld or something that he goes to that people really respond to, and people start asking for that, that's kind of a doorway into it. It doesn't have to just be the small universe. This is just about Han Solo and how he met Chewbacca and how he did this and how he became a pilot. I think you're going to have some of that stuff, but you also have to realize there's a vehicle for them to be able to spin off and do other stories because the Star Wars universe is that big.
Yeah, and I think for Ehrenreich, it's, obviously it's a big, huge role for him. It's a nice, but he's got to nail it, right? Because let's say he comes out and everyone just rejects him as Han Solo, it's not going to be good for his career. But if he nails it, I mean, look what's happening with Daisy Ridley right now. She's blown up. She's up for a lot of stuff. Even though she didn't get Tomb Raider, she was like one of the final people, and she's in that J.J. Abrams movie. We just talked about the Ophelia film. So, like, if he nails it, then, he might become a star.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
The Russo brothers might have just confirmed Captain Marvel for Avengers Infinity War Part 1 during a Captain America Civil War event screening and Q&A at the Smithsonian Institute. The Russos were speaking about the upcoming Infinity War when they mentioned Captain Marvel by name. A fan quickly asked for clarification, saying, "Did you just confirm Captain Marvel?" The Russos replied, half jokingly, half serious, Captain Marvel, totally different character. The flub has since lit up the Twitterverse with fans using the hashtag Marvel at SI, documenting the conversation. Disney and Marvel have yet to confirm an appearance by Captain Marvel in Infinity War, other than in her solo movie dated for July 6, 2018. Kristian, what do you think about the Russos' flub? Did they reveal Captain Marvel in Infinity War?
It's a non-story. I think it's a non-story because it was given she was going to be in it. Joss Whedon had said he was going to put her in the end credits at one point. He was going to put her right towards the end when they announced an Ultron, when they show everybody the new Avengers. He was thinking about putting her in there, and at the last minute, Marvel was like, "Nah, let's not do that." We know she's going to be around. We know she's going to have to debut soon. She's going to have to come out to the people who don't really know her. Like in the pre-production, JT's like, "I don't really know her story that much." Like, people will know more of her, and you have to. It was a given she was going to be in it. I think it was almost in their subconsciously in their mind. They were like, "Oh yeah, she's in it. Oops, we forgot. Nobody knows she's in it." But it's not that big of a deal. It didn't reveal anything about it. It's just the fact she's going to be in it. You have to, because you're going to spin off into her story. So the comments, good. They told us. Great.
Yeah, I don't think it's that big a deal because, like you said, everyone assumed she was going to be in the movie anyway. And not only that, you have the Russo brothers who just killed it with Civil War.
Yeah.
I don't think Kevin Feige is going to really care that much after he sees what's already happening on the international box office with Civil War and what's going to happen here domestically this weekend. I mean, that movie is gonna crush it this weekend. So just a little minor flub. I don't think it's that big a deal. JT?
Yeah, like you said, I'm not that familiar with her, but I'm at the point now where Marvel, I trust you 100%, do whatever you want. The Russo brothers, again, had to introduce two huge characters in Civil War, and they did it perfectly, if you ask me. So I don't know if have they announced that she can get her own solo film?
Yeah, when they did that.
Or is it? I remember they announced it then, but now they're saying they're going to introduce her in Infinity War. Or is the movie going to come out before that?
It's going to come out after.
It comes
They're
out
going
after?
to
Yeah.
introduce her in
Okay.
Infinity War if this flub is correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I guess what they were saying before is like, oh, they want to introduce her before her solo film, but I'm sure she's going to make some sort of appearance.
So
in
very
Infinity
similar
War.
to Black Panther in Civil War.
Yeah.
Introduce him, give you a little backstory, and then we'll send him up for his own film. So yeah, I'm on board. Marvel, 110%. I love Civil War. I'm totally sold. Whatever they want to do.
I'd love it though if they did come out with a character called Captain Marvel in
That'd be great.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
That could be the villain, Miss Marvel versus Captain Marvel. I don't know.
All right, guys. Now we're on to buy or sell. Natasha, what do we got first?
In a report from Deadline, 20th Century Fox has tapped into an entirely new superhero universe, acquiring the rights to the Boom Comics book series Irredeemable, adapting it as a directing vehicle for Adam McKay. Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters writer Tommy Wirkola is writing the screenplay. The Mark Waid created comic book debuted in 2009 and tells the story of Plutonian, the world's greatest superhero who began heartlessly slaughtering the population of Earth. It then falls to a superhero group known as the Paradigm to stop his rampage by turning to a famous supervillain for help. No release date or cast has been announced. JTE, buy or sell Adam McKay directing Irredeemable?
I am gonna buy this. Listen, nowadays we're getting so many superhero movies. It's so nice to hear a kind of a fresh concept, something that's not based on like a real property like Spider-Man or Iron Man. It's Adam McKay too, just coming off The Big Short.
Yeah.
The guy actually knows how to direct action pretty well. I remember seeing the other guys, and there's that big opening scene with The Rock,
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson. I was like, damn, this looks like it could be Bad Boys 3 right now. I was really impressed. And even back to when he did Legend of Ricky Bobby, those racing scenes were really well done. So, and let's not forget, he was rumored to be Ant-Man. He was rumored to maybe take over that for a little bit, and I thought he would have been great
I think
for
he
that.
ended up co-writing the
Co-writing,
script.
yes.
But no,
Yeah.
but there was a rumor that he was going to
Yeah,
direct it at
yeah,
one
for
point.
a little bit, and then he dropped out,
Yeah.
or whatever it was too. But yeah, that's very interesting. That's before The Big Short.
Yeah.
So
Exactly, and I just think this concept is so cool. Kind of reminds me a tad of, there was an animated film with Will Ferrell called Megamind, where like the hero kind of became the bad guy, and Will Ferrell played like the mastermind. It sounds a little bit like that, but what I'm real curious is, like, I read this synopsis, is like, this could either be really dark or it could be really funny. Now, you would think with Adam McKay, they might go the more comedy route, but who knows? I think it could go either way. Maybe he wants to go a little bit outside of that.
Carson?
I mean, listen, if this was a year ago, I'd be skeptical, to be honest, because I was skeptical when you brought up Ant-Man. I didn't think that was a good choice, and unfairly said, it's just the comedy guy, man. It's not this. And then you saw The Big Short. I mean, he crushed The Big Short. Crushed it. And you hear his story about how he was reading it at night and he had to do the book, and he told his wife that they're not gonna let me do this because I'm the comedy guy, basically going up against that wave, and he did it well, and directed some of the best actors out there today telling this really great story in The Big Short. Going exactly what you said is that I like all the Marvel and DC characters that were getting them in the mainstream and putting them out there and telling their stories, but I also would like to see unknown ones be told, and from new perspectives, and maybe adding some of that Adam McKay humor in there, but not maybe straight up comedy, but adding some of that great action that JT mentioned. So yeah, definitely.
I'm going to buy it as well. I didn't love The Big Short as much as you did, but I still, it showed that Adam McKay, and he wants to stretch out and have a little range in his directing, and obviously something like this is definitely out of his wheelhouse, where I think even The Big Short had a lot of comedic elements to it, so that was a little more in his wheelhouse,
Right.
where something like this I think is new to him. Also, I'm a big fan of Mark Waid. He wrote Kingdom Come, one of my favorite comic book series.
Yeah.
And when you talk about some different non-Marvel, non-DC, non-well-known superhero type of properties, this is definitely one of them. Irredeemable. Invincible, I think, by Robert Kirkman is one, and then Superior by Mark Millar. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Millar.
Those are three that I would like to see, and I think this is a good choice. All right, what's next?
The Slender Man is now headed from the internet to the big screen. The meme that launched 1,000 more memes about a faceless man with unnaturally long arms is now up for a big screen adaptation, with Screen Gems producing the film version of the internet-grown intellectual property. The Slender Man concept began with Eric Knudsen creating photos of children and a photoshopped figure with a narrative implying the man was involved in causing the disappearance of children and other horrifying acts. The photos and ideas went viral, taking a life of its own as other people added to the pictures and text, with short films, cosplay, and video games following. The film's script is written by David Burke, the scribe behind horror flick 13 Sins and the upcoming Paul Verhoeven-directed movie Elle. The project will soon be going out to directors. Dennis, buy or sell a movie based on the Slender Man?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll buy it. I wasn't really familiar with this meme at all, but I guess yesterday during the chat, people were like blowing up saying, oh my God, Slender Man's going to have a movie. Hank's going to have a movie. Apparently, Hollywood already tried to do their version, a movie called The Tall Man. It was like in 2012 with Jessica Biel, and it was about some guy abducting children as well. I guess I have to really wait and see a trailer. Kristian?
I'm with you. I'm going to sell it because I think it's a little too late. I think, aren't people over this thing already? But I mean, I think that I could go back and buy it. And to be fair, I'm also not the big horror guy. You aren't either. So watching this trailer, if the trailer turns out to be, if they looked at these images, whatever the video game was as well too, and said, wait a minute, we can really turn this into a really creepy, fun horror film, and the trailer comes out and it blows me away from seeing it, then sure, I'll buy it. But for right now, I just don't care.
Yeah, it's an easy sell for me. For me, I'm not a huge horror fan either, but I do love it when it's done right. And for me, the best horror films are when there's an underlying message to it, some kind of social commentary, like It Follows, The Babadook. To me, this is just kind of like a gimmick. It's like, oh, let's put some creepy images up there. It's not really trying to say anything.
Right.
Movies like The Exorcist, faith was a big theme with that film, and this is like, for me, it reminds me of Ouija board.
Right.
Like, let's just take a creepy kind of something that's in culture and make a movie out of it. It's kind of a cash grab in my eyes.
Right.
I think, who knows, it might be a little bit creepy, it might be kind of a fun little horror movie, but it's not going to be a great horror film. I mean, I'm not going to say never is never. Who knows, maybe they have a great writer and he's able to put something together, but just on the face value, something based on a meme.
Yeah.
Were you guys both familiar with this meme before?
I was kind of familiar with it too, but then I remember it kind of went away. It was like a big stupid thing for a little bit, and then people kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, I
So
guess it started in 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
and the
it's like-
video game, there's no story to the video game. You're literally just walking in the woods and you're waiting for this guy to pop out and scare you. I
Right.
mean, there's no story there, so I don't know where they're going with.
All right, what's next?
Warner Brothers has released the final trailer for the Shane Black-directed The Nice Guys. The trailer includes plenty of new footage to help get people even more excited, with many film buffs now calling this one of their most anticipated films since the project was announced. Set in 1970s Los Angeles, the story finds Ryan Gosling's down-on-his-luck private eye team up with Russell Crowe's hired enforcer to solve the case of a missing girl and the seemingly unrelated death of a porn star. The film opens on May 20th. Kristian, buy or sell the final trailer for The Nice Guys?
I'll buy it because I think that if no one's seen this trailer or any of these trailers before and you catch it for the first time, it will give you the same feeling if you've seen all of them. It's just the fact there wasn't much difference to it. And I still think the Red Band trailers are a lot better than these particular trailers, but I think that looking at it, you are very aware that this is a Shane Black movie. It is very aware that there is a lot of kiss kiss bang bang references as well too. I mean, it feels like it. And even from the period piece alone to the back and forth to the crazy gags with the gun going out the window and just the mermaid thing got me for sure. I think that was newer. That might have been newer.
Yeah.
That was good. So every new gag they're putting in there, but I don't need to see any more. I'm in. I'm hooked. So I'll buy this trailer, but it's not like, oh, this is another one that just, oh my God, this is so different and it just adds new to it. It's the same, but it's still it's getting me excited.
I'm gonna buy the trailer as well, just because it gives a better understanding of the story than the previous ones. The other ones were kind of just more the gags and the feel and the tone, where this one actually does the story. The one thing I didn't like about the trailer, it's not a bad thing, but because we'd already seen in the previous trailer, so that opening sequence with him on the toilet with the gun, it's not as funny without all the setup in the previous trailers where Russell Crowe goes, beats him up, and breaks his arm, because like you don't know why he's so paranoid. Why is he in the toilet, with a gun and his broken cast? But other than that, I think it's fine. JT?
Yeah, I mean, I was already sold to begin with. Like you said, I watch a trailer and immediately Kiss Kiss Bang Bang comes to mind. It's almost got like some of the same plot points: a girl in trouble, two guys who are kind of like detectives trying to figure it out. The trailer does tell more of the story, which I was excited about. Russell Crowe looks like he's doing his Russell Crowe thing, tough, grumpy kind of guy who just beats people up. For me, Ryan Gosling's really kind of standout. He was in the first trailer and even more so in this one. The mermaid line, I don't want to give it away, but I thought that was fantastic. And Ryan Gosling has done some comedy in the past, but this looks like it might be his best comedic performance to date.
He showed, and he's not being, because the other one that he did was A Crazy Stupid Love, was a comedy too, but he still had that kind of tough guy, kind of cool guy. That's gone in this.
Yes.
Like he's like a wuss, and it's pretty. Yeah, I like the relationship he has with his daughter. I agree with you. I think that to me, Ryan Gosling is the one that I'm really excited about seeing. But I'm okay with the Russell Crowe doing the Russell Crowe.
No, yeah, he's perfect.
LA Confidential style.
I totally with you. And like you said, the daughter thing, he does this whole pinky swearing. He goes, come on.
Yeah,
Like, he has to do it now.
One of the criticisms of Ryan Gosling was that he may be playing similar type of characters. You had his character in Drive.
Right.
You had his character in Place Beyond the Pines.
Yep.
You had his character in Gangster Squad. They all kind of were a little more similar, where this is definitely on the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Lionsgate has released a new Now You See Me 2 trailer along with the very first clip. The movie this time around shows the four horsemen committing a heist rather than their usual MO of using magic tricks to steal from the rich and give to the poor. The clip also reveals Morgan Freeman's incarcerated bad guy providing a brief recap of the first movie, setting up his showdown with the horsemen that will most likely happen in the upcoming sequel. Now You See Me 2 opens up on June 10th and stars Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Dave Franco, Lizzie Kaplan, Jay Chu, Daniel Radcliffe, Mark Ruffalo, and Michael Caine. JT, do you buy or sell the new trailer and clip from Now You See Me 2?
This is a sell for me. You guys got to explain this to me. I watch these trailers. I'm like, are they like dropouts from Hogwarts? Are they X-Men? What's happening here? Because I know they're supposed to be magicians. They're doing things that are
impossible.
Magicians can't do.
They're impossible.
This guy turned to water like in the first X-Men movie. The guy popped out of the beach. Like, I'm literally, if you showed this somebody, look at this new X-Men superhero movie, I would buy it then, because I'd be like, yeah, that looks like a superhero movie. I'll be honest, I did not see the first movie. I heard mixed things. Heard it's enjoyable. I did catch pieces of it on TBS, but the whole, I can't get past the magic part. The cool thing about magic is you watch it and you try to figure out how they're pulling off the trick. The Prestige is a great magician movie. This just looks like special effects, people doing things that aren't possible.
Kristian?
I agree 100%. I sell this pretty hard, and I thought that the first one, and I actually sell them for those reasons, because the first movie to me was okay, but it did do what you were kind of hoping with the magicians, is that there was these crazy tricks, but they were still pulling them off because they were magicians. This looks like they're crossing over into there's actual like magic, and things are happening. There's one, I don't know if that's not this trailer, but the other trailer, they open up a manhole in New York and then they're in China or something. It's like, what is happening?
But that happened in the first one too.
But not to this extent.
Not to this extent.
This is like times 30.
Yeah.
Like they tried to like at least say a little bit of how they pulled this off in the first one. You're like, all right, I'll suspend disbelief a little bit. You can't in this one. It's a little too over the top for me. And the thing was that I found, and not even just that, the trailer itself is really fast, and all these things are supposed to be like, watch how much energy. I was getting bored on a fast-cutting trailer that is supposed to show you all this action. I was just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm watching a trailer. And I looked, because it didn't hold my interest. This is an unnecessary sequel.
Yeah, see, I didn't mind the first one. I thought I enjoyed it. It was dumb, but one of the things I think I said in our previous show is, oh, they didn't explain the tricks, and then people are yelling at me. No, they did. And it's like, yeah, I think you're right, they did, but it's what you guys are talking about. It's kind of like the BS explanation.
Yeah.
Oh, it just happened. Like, okay, we did this, and we appeared in France all of a sudden, and this looks like that for this trailer. The one thing though is I really sell the clip more than the trailer, because the clip is. More like you got Morgan Freeman's voiceover, and it sounds like his TV show Through the Wormhole on the Discovery Channel. Yeah. And then also he's in prison, so he's got a website. He's got videos on his website. Not only that, his videos are like movie quality HD. Like it's like, come on, try a little bit harder with that one.
It looked like when you buy a brand new video game and you have to install it, and they give you like a little video before the video game actually starts. It's like an After Effects thing. Like, I'm like, is this from a movie? It looks so computery and like video gamey to me. I'm like, this would never happen in real life. Yeah.
All right, guys, now we're on to our weekly segment, Box Office Predictions, brought to you by our friends at AMC Theaters. This is where we try and predict the top 5 movies this weekend. I'm pretty sure we're all going to have the same number one. JTE, why don't you go first?
All right, so we're going to go straight to the top 5. Obviously, number 1 is going to be Captain America.
What?
I mean, come on. There's literally nothing coming out this weekend. Number 2, I will go Jungle Book. I think, it's been doing great. It's barely dropping off every week. This is where it gets a little tricky after here, because Mother's Day was so bad. It made $8 million last weekend. But this Mother's Day is coming up this weekend, so it's like I want to put a little higher, but at the same time I have no faith in it. So I'm gonna go Huntsman. I think it is gonna get hurt by Civil War, but it's still a big summer blockbuster film. So some people can't make it Civil War or Jungle Book, or they've already seen Jungle Book. Maybe they'll give Huntsman a try. Then this is where I'm like Keanu or Mother's Day. 4 or 5 are really back and forth for me. I'll give Mother's Day the edge just because it is Mother's Day coming up, and then I'll put Keanu number 5.
What's your number for Civil War? What's it gonna do? What's it gonna do?
I'm
this
gonna
weekend?
go, and I said this the other day.
You sticking with
Robert
me?
Downey Jr. has been in all top 5 of the highest grossing Marvel films. The lowest one being Age of Ultron with like 196 million. I think this will just break 200. I think 205 for the
Kristian?
weekend.
All right, top 5. Coming in at number 1 is obviously Civil War. I would say 201.5. That's my number.
You are on the number.
201.5. I agree with you that number 2 is Jungle Book. I think Disney's going to have a pretty good weekend here. 3 is Huntsman. And I'm switching it up, though. I have 4 if I have Keanu, and 5 I have Mother's Day.
You have the exact same one
you?
as I do.
Yeah.
So
so
I
tough.
will go higher than you, though, on my Civil War prediction. I'll
Okay.
say 212 million.
212.
Yes.
Wow, it's a big number.
Yeah, it's like just with the fans and the critics, it's just killing it.
Yeah.
Natasha, are you going to watch Civil War this weekend?
I think I need to watch Winter Soldier first.
Yes.
before
Okay.
I can
Yes.
see it.
Yeah.
So
The
that's what I'll
first
be
two, the
doing.
2 movies you have to see before this are Winter Soldier and
Ultron.
Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
They kind of, it's almost like this is the third in like a trilogy.
Right.
Those 2.
Yeah.
All right, guys, now we're on to mailbag. Before that, I want to remind you that we're going to take your live Twitter questions at the end of the show. You can tweet us at Collider Video. Also, a reminder, you can send in your questions for mailbag, collidervideo@gmail.com. We'll pick them out. We'll answer them here on this show or on our weekend mailbags. Natasha, what do we got first?
Okay, Scott Newman writes, Dear Collider Crew, if you could go back in time and save one bad film, what would it be? I would love to go back and save Godfather Part 3, getting Francis Ford Coppola and Paramount to delay the movie a few months for rewrites, and Winona Ryder plus paying Robert Duvall would have made the film substantially better. What poorly received film would you want to go back and save, and how would you go about it?
I know this is cliche, but
Yeah.
it's 3 movies,
The
and they're
prequels.
called the Star
Yeah.
Wars
Wow,
prequels.
I didn't even think of that.
I would take George Lucas off of directing. I actually would still have him write the script, but then have someone come in and polish it up and
Right.
organize it a little better. Take out some of the, cheesier stuff like the Force birth and Jar Jar, and then axe Jar Jar completely in there.
Kill him.
And then not kill off Darth Maul. Like keep him around for at
Yes.
least the 3. Kill him off in the 3rd one.
Right.
So, Kristian.
Got 2 that I'm going to shoot
Okay.
with. Because you took 3. So I'm going to... One that's very obscure, I am going to go with Major League 2.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
the first,
I can see that.
The first Major League is a great rated R sports comedy. It became popular, and the studios got their hands on it even more. Said, "Oh, we should make it PG-13 and really beef up the comedy." And it's a sitcom. It's horrible, and I was so excited and so let down. I'm going to cheat, actually. Now I'll go 3, because Karate Kid 3 is another one that should be absolutely changed, because 1 and 2 are really good. 3 is a damn joke. And then the third, more serious one is Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3, leave Raimi alone and let him do his thing. Stop pushing all this stuff on him. He had too much pushed on him in that one. He got too much pushed on him in the 4th movie. And I think just concentrating on one particular villain and not having the damn singing emo Spider-Man on a piano and too much crying in that movie from everybody.
Question is, did you like the next Karate Kid starring Hilary Swank?
At that point,
no.
by the way, did you know that this was because 3 was received so bad, the screenwriter didn't even put Daniel in the movie because his character was so ruined in the 3rd. He decided she shouldn't even be in the next Karate Kid.
I think in the 3rd one, isn't like his love interest not his love interest in the 3rd one?
in the 2nd one.
No, the 3rd one. No, I'm talking about like
Yeah, they're
they
just
brought a
friends.
girl.
Oh, right, yeah,
and
right,
then they
right,
ended up just
right.
being friends.
Right, yeah.
You guys got some really good answers. I try to think of a movie where I left the theater and was physically angry and
Right.
was just kind of like so upset because I feel like they blew a great opportunity. I'm gonna go X-Men Origins,
Okay.
Wolverine.
Oh yeah.
I left that theater so mad because first of all, you got the best character from the X-Men series. I mean, how do you mess up that guy? First of all, let's just let him finish the special effects, because I couldn't believe some of the special effects in this movie. When he
Right.
had the Roger Rabbit cartoon claws,
So
he's like,
Yeah, they were bad.
I was like, oh my god! And the director was coming off Oscar win for I think Best Foreign Film, Tasatsi. I think his name is
Gavin Hood.
Gavin Hood. Yes, Gavin Hood. Fantastic director, and I love that movie. So I was like, oh man, we got a great director behind the studio project with one of the most beloved and popular comic book characters in the early days. It seemed like a home run, and apparently the studio just messed up, man. They just got in there.
They
He
bullied
said,
him.
They bullied
Yeah.
him. He said
Yeah.
it was one of the worst experiences he ever had making a movie. I want that movie remade. Throw the script away, because the script was probably a big problem too, because that thing was horrible. Oh god, how he got his name, like it was like a dream catcher with that girl. Something about Wolverine was a spirit. It was so horrible. Someone that loves the comics and loves just the character of Wolverine, that movie is the opposite of what that character is. And yeah, get rid of that thing.
I'm so shocked that you didn't say Rocky 5.
No, I knew you were gonna say that, because Rocky 5 need to happen for us to get Rocky Balboa.
Not necessarily. They could have gone
They
somewhere else. Or
could've.
they could have had him fight in the ring.
Yeah, that I do agree. They
I have
should
some
have
of the fans have been
Yeah.
saying some stuff too. So we have the Bad News Bears remake. Okay, Terminator 3, Rocky 5,
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises. Somebody has TMNT 3.
Aliens 3 and
Aliens
4.
3.
Turtles in Time.
The Bad News Bear. Another Bad
Crow
News Bears.
2.
What are they talking
Yeah.
about?
Transformers 2 onwards.
Last Airbender. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
a good one. Yeah. So those are some of the ones that the fans are saying in the chat room.
All right, let's go to the last mailbag question.
Okay, Albert Coons writes, Yo, Collider Crew, I'm a big fan of the show and love all that you do. In the past, we had only the 6 Star Wars movies, and whether or not they were good, they all made a ton of money, and the actors playing those characters became pretty well known after they were cast in the films. Now that we have more Star Wars movies coming out, with the anthology movies and perhaps another trilogy after Episode 9, do you think the new actors playing these characters will become just as well known as before with the actors in the 2 previous trilogies, or will audiences become too saturated with Star Wars to care as much for the new actors being cast, whether they're in a starring role or not?
I think this is actually an interesting question, and I think Albert brings up a good point. I'm with him. I don't think the actors and the characters will be as iconic as the original 3, Luke, Han, and Leia, because those movies were kind of standalone for such a long time and classics, where now we are going to get all these episodes, all these spin-offs, and then I think it's going to splinter the fan base. Not that they're not going to love all the different movies, but they're going to pick like, oh, I love this character from the episode 8 or 9 or whatever. I love these guys from the spin-off. So I feel like there's less of a chance of any of these characters or actors breaking on through like the original 3. Kristian?
I agree and disagree at the same time. I agree that there will be no characters that stand out the way that Leia, Han, and Luke did, because there was nothing like Star Wars when it came out in '77. It started the big blockbuster. Some you can argue Jaws as far as summer blockbuster, but for what it did with fantasy, that movie wasn't supposed to work. No. And it was a fairy tale that was brought into the public consciousness, and that's why they're so popular. However, the viewer also mentions like the 6 films, because you even have Hayden Christensen, who, whatever you think about his performance, they know him as Darth Vader. You know him as Darth Vader. When he pops up, oh, that's the Darth Vader guy. Same thing with Ewan McGregor. It's Obi-Wan. Like they have stuck out, not in the same way that the characters that we just mentioned, but Rey is the first like strong female lead in Star Wars. Leia had a big part, but she wasn't the lead. She is if Rey is the protagonist through this trilogy, we don't know what's going to happen or the kind of twists and big moments that we're going to get. Kylo Ren became a household name right before the movie even came out. That iconic just shot of him that they don't even use in the movie, of him in the woods when the thing pops out.
Yeah.
So yes, these characters will be around for a very long time. Not all of them, not all the spin-off ones. I don't think like Jyn Erso will be a big popular character that's around for a long time. I might be wrong.
I mean, it seems like she begins and ends with Rogue One.
That's what you would think. So I would say no there. But as far as this new trilogy that we're watching now, yeah, I think like Finn and Rey, I think those are the ones, and Kylo Ren. Those are the 3 that'll probably stand out the most.
Yeah, I kind of read this question a little bit differently. Like as far as like how the actor's career is going to go.
Yeah.
Like think about the original trilogy. Carrie Fisher, great actress. She didn't have like a breakout She wasn't Harrison Ford, and even Mark Hamill, great as the voice of Joker, had a great career, but was never Harrison Ford. Was never lighting up cineplexes with like big hits.
Right.
Harrison Ford was the runaway for that whole series. I feel like these actors are going to have much better careers outside of Star Wars. They already do. Like Daisy Ridley getting these roles coming up. I think Boyega's going to have a great career. He was great in Attack the Block. So they are casting these people who they already know are great actors, and they're filling these roles. Whereas the first Star Wars, no one knew Mark Hamill. No one knew Carrie Fisher. Harrison Ford was on American Graffiti before that. This movie kind of made him. So I think it's the actor-wise, they're going to have better careers actually than the original trilogy. And I do think the characters, Finn, I'm hearing it everywhere now. You hear Rey, you hear Poe. So I think yes for the characters and the actors. I think all around it's going to be a hit for these guys.
But I think what I'm saying actually goes to your point. I think because maybe they're going to be less iconic, it's going to be easier for them to branch out.
Not pigeonholed into that.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, oh, you see Mark Hamill, you think, oh, that's Luke Skywalker. Obviously, Harrison Ford was able to break out. But with these actors, because there's going to be so many, you know, we don't know what's happening yet. I think they're going to be able to break out into other stuff.
I agree with that. Yeah.
But, I mean, even something, you know... But the characters themselves, I just don't think they're going to be as iconic. I mean, Darth Vader, right? I mean,
yeah, it's
Kylo Ren's great, but Darth Vader.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to do. I mean, look at something like Boba Fett, though. That's the one argument to where we haven't seen a character yet that because Boba Fett says like nothing in the original trilogy and became one of the most iconic characters in Star Wars. There's always a possibility that they just respond to. I mean, someone like Darth Maul, dead in Phantom Menace, comes back in the you know the other canon shows and stuff too, but in the movies, craps out, and everyone loved that guy from the look. So we haven't seen a character yet that has popped that way. Kylo Ren, I think, was close.
Well, Captain Phasma was supposed to be the new Boba Fett.
Yeah,
and then we saw what happened in the movie, and then
they didn't use her. Yeah.
And like you said, they were the first out of the gate. It was something new. All these characters that we're getting are going to be compared to Vader. Kylo Ren's going to be compared to Vader. Phasma's going to be compared to Boba Fett. The originals, you're never going to be able to do them.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm still on my Clone Wars watch. I hit another Jar Jar episode.
I'm telling you, the first two seasons are rough. The first two seasons
it just
are rough.
starts to get good, right? Like I get some good episodes, and then I hit a Jar Jar episode, and I'm like, oh,
I promise you, I guarantee you, when we do this again, when you get to season 3, that stops. It all stops.
Okay, because it's almost like Lucas is waiting, like, oh, he's getting interested in it, and then, bam, let's hit him with a Jar Jar episode.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it for Mailbag. Now on to your live Twitter questions. You can tweet us at Collider Video, and Natasha will pick out a few. What do we got up first?
The Lone Wolf asks, what's the best superhero trilogy, the Dark Knight films or Captain America?
Ooh, that's tough. I'm going to go with the Dark Knight, even though I didn't love the last one, Rises. I still liked it. Just because the Captain America one, especially even starting with Winter Soldier and this latest one, they're more like Captain America / Avengers, 1.5 or 2.5.
Right.
Like, it's not solely a Captain America. Where the Batman ones, they feel like a Batman movie.
See, this is tough because I think I'm the person on this panel who likes the last Batman the best. The Dark Knight, right? Like I really still enjoy that movie.
I really like Rises the best.
No. The best out of all of us.
Oh,
no. Dark.
What?
No.
No.
Dark Knight. I like that trilogy a lot, and I stick by. I gave it a big review. I understand everybody's complaints about it, but my argument was always it's a Batman movie. They went more into, did it feel a little more Adam Westy than the first two? Sure, it did, but I liked the way it all tied up. I thought it was a good. I really enjoyed the last one, and I have no problem saying that I'm a big Dark Knight Rises fan. That being said, I do think the evolution and where the continuation of the story could go, I do think the Captain America trilogy might be a little better because not as far as overall filmmaking though, because I think. I love what the Russo brothers are doing, but Nolan's, I think, is a much better filmmaker right now. He's a master, yeah. But I don't agree that even though we have the Avengers and stuff in Civil War, I do think it's a Captain America story. I do think it's about his struggle, and I think it's about the relationship with him and Bucky from 1 all the way to 3 and the way it pays off. They are very conscious and aware of everything that happens in the first and second one, and you do have to be involved with those movies in order to appreciate all the gravitas in the third. So I very slightly will give it to Captain America.
and probably who likes Dark Knight Rises the least out of three of us. I had a lot of problems with that movie, but I'm still going to take Dark Knight Trilogy because, like you said, the Marvel films, when you watch Civil War, say you just had those two trilogies in front of you, you're going to be missing things when you watch Civil War. You're like, wait a minute, who's Ant-Man? What's going on here? Dark Knight tells a story from beginning to end. It's a complete story, 1, 2, and 3. Each one has its own theme, and I feel like it's just a great complete trilogy. And I do agree that the filmmaking is better. Yeah. Christopher Nolan is just a master filmmaker. Even the Russo brothers are great, and I think they're doing great being part of the Marvel machine and creating these. They created a great Captain America trilogy. The first film is a great setup for the character. It's a little hokey. Joe Johnson is definitely more for that old school vibe. Yep. The second one is like a basically political thriller, Jason Bourne style. And the third one is basically an Avengers movie. The Dark Knight feels like the same three directors made the same three movies telling one story, even though I think the third one faults a little bit.
All right, what's next?
Some Move Milker asks, now that Han Solo has been cast, let's talk casting Lando. My guy is Donald Glover. Who's your choice?
I liked Some Moof Milker. That was a Force Awakens reference. I like that. Yeah, it's Harrison Ford says, Some Moof Milker, blah, blah, blah. Great. For Lando, I would go either Michael B. Jordan, Nate Parker, or what was the choice? Who was their choice?
Donald Glover.
I get Donald Glover. I like all three of those choices.
Yeah, Donald Glover is a good choice.
That's interesting.
He play that kind of little scoundrel ruffian.
I think Michael B. Jordan hit that swagger though.
Yeah,
I really think he could. And he was rumored to be in the Star Wars movie, and then when Josh Trank, who used Michael B. Jordan for both Chronicle and Fantastic Four, there was rumors that he was going to show up in the Boba Fett movie. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's been having conversations.
Yeah, I would go Michael B. Jordan. That's the first thing that popped in my mind. Donald Glover was kind of an interesting choice when I heard it, but I feel like if I saw that movie, I would see Donald Glover doing a impression of Lando. I don't know if he could fully embody that character, just because I haven't seen him really do that in the film yet. Whereas Michael B. Jordan, I've seen him do a couple amazing performances, like Fruitvale Station, Creed, obviously. So yeah, Michael B. Jordan's the first thing that pops in my mind. He'd be great.
Right. Chadwick Boseman, people are saying though too.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because of Black Panther. I mean, like the thing is, it is a Disney family, and and people, well, he's already Black Panther. Look,
different universe.
Harrison Ford was already Han Solo, and he played Indiana Jones.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
Corinne asks, coming off the huge success of Civil War, do you think Marvel anticipated that and will have Avenger cameos in Doctor Strange?
I don't know. I actually kind of hope that Doctor Strange doesn't have any cameos in it. I hope it kind of stands on its own. I think we talked about this the other day. Like I think that type of story, Doctor Strange and just his cast of characters should just stay there. Yeah. Maybe an end credit scene if they want, but other than that, I don't think so.
I agree 100%. I want to see that kind of crazy, weird, surreal world, and I don't need any of the Avengers or any characters in this movie. Post-credit scene, sure, but I don't need it in the actual movie.
Yeah, his world seems so far from what we've seen so far. Well, that's the thing. Like Ant-Man had a couple of cameos from Howard Stark. Like, if you want to do little things like that, connecting it just a tad, but because it feels like such a mystical, different world, I don't really feel like there's anyone that would really match in there.
But that's what I meant with Ant-Man, because of the realm. When he goes to the realm, that was that was the play into that world. So if anybody's going to do it, whether or not they tie it into Hank Pym's wife, the wife. Remember, the wife went into the realm, so maybe they can find her there. She's there. That's the only way I could see it tie in.
For the last question in the chat room, Hank Atkinson says Jason Mitchell.
That's a good one.
Lando.
That's
I like that one.
Yeah, I like that too.
All right, what's next?
Robbie Haskell asks, which movie would you want to rewatch for the first time? I'd choose Jurassic Park or Jaws.
Oh, man.
That's tough. I mean, there's so many good movies.
Indiana Jones. The Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Really?
It's such a great adventure movie, and I'm just because I'm not allowed to say Star Wars, I know, but Raiders of the Lost Ark I think it's just a perfect movie. Like it really is that adventure film that popped right off of the serial, the old serials and like these old adventure films, and they really brought it from the 30s and put it on screen. So something I like to feel again watching that movie.
For me, I love getting emotional response from a film. Like I think you mentioned Jurassic Park. Like if it was today, he wouldn't be as impressed because we're seeing CG and all this every day. For me, the first time I saw Braveheart, and the end of that movie was like, man tears and just joy and sadness, and I would love to recapture that for the first time. And the movie's so good that every time you watch it, you do kind of feel that way.
And it was
no matter
unexpected
what.
too. The movie.
Oh,
too.
totally unexpected. Like I remember seeing the trailers for that. This dates me a little bit on TV, and it looked more like a romance film.
Yeah.
Like it really looked like a kind of like a Rob Roy, which was a Liam Neeson film that
They
came
had
out
two
around
different
that
trailers for it. One that's pitched as a romance,
yeah.
and one that pitched almost like Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, really? See, I didn't see that one.
And that's what I thought it was going into it, and it's a mixture of all that, and that's what made it so great.
But yeah, I'd love to see it again.
I'd love to see Batman, the Tim Burton version, for the first time again. Just because when I saw that in the theater, I was like, wow, they actually have a comic book movie where it's not like, some cheesy little thing or whatever.
Adam West.
Yeah. And actually, I wouldn't want to see, my favorite movie is Goodfellas, but I actually wouldn't want to see that again for the first time because that movie is a movie that I had to watch multiple times in order to appreciate it. Because the first time I watched it, I was like, wow, this is totally different, the way that it's structured and paced, and it was definitely something new for me the first time that I saw it.
The fans are saying, I love this pick of The Usual Suspects.
Oh,
That's
just that twist ending.
Yeah, that
that's
alone.
pretty good. Sixth Sense.
Whiplash, Dark Knight Trilogy, Star Trek 2.
Okay.
Any Will Ferrell movie. That's fine.
Natasha, what would you want to see again for the first time?
Guys, I would have to say E.T., of course.
Nice call.
Yes.
Because now I don't
She
think I
hates
would
E.T.?
be as scared, and you guys are all so in love with that little alien that
Too bad we don't
watch
have that
it.
picture.
Well, yeah, when can we do that? Because we're doing our next commentary is going to be X-Men,
yes.
right?
Which, by the way, I put up that poll, right?
Yeah.
Rogue version or theatrical. All the time, I had like over 1,000 votes. Ended up being 50-50, so it was no help whatsoever.
I say we do the regular one, but can we do ET afterwards?
Let me look at the schedule in terms of what we have to cover, but we might be able to fit ET
We
in
gotta
there
have
somewhere.
ET.
Nice. I feel like that's a lot of pressure on you.
It
guys.
sure
You guys
is.
are all going to be staring at me the whole time.
Right.
I wish we had that picture that you sent.
That was
Oh yeah, that was so good.
The roast.
Yeah, I saw somebody tweeted that. It was like so some guy at a barbecue crafted out an ET head and barbecued it. I don't know what kind of meat it was, but it was really creepy. But it's like we should post it on Collider
I know.
on the Instagram.
So creepy.
It's so creepy, but it really looked like the guy caught ET and then barbecued him in
And
this
Kristian
backyard.
said that he thought it happened at my house.
Yeah.
Because I'm evil.
Spielberg has the BFG coming out this summer, so that's a good time to revisit E.T.
That's a
going
good
back
one.
to the family.
All right.
True that.
All right, what's next?
Okay, Kevin asks, what recent movie can you see getting a nostalgic sequel in the future, like Space Jam or Zoolander?
Oh, like 15
Nostalgic.
years later?
Man, that's tough.
Goonies. I think they've talked about it, and I think it's finally going to happen.
Oh, something not from nowadays, like something that. Okay, I was thinking differently.
Yeah, I was thinking something from today.
from today.
From
man.
the past?
From the past.
That's what they were asking, right? Wasn't it more?
Yeah, like a recent movie.
No,
No, she's talking about a recent movie.
Yeah.
So a
It's
movie that came
gets
out
rebooted
now.
like
that
in
Yeah.
10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
or
okay.
gets a sequel.
Oh,
A
shoot, I
nostalgic
don't-
sequel like we saw Zoolander.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Another
yeah,
one?
that already
Third one?
happened.
Yeah.
Oh, this is tough.
I don't know. Let's think about it. Come back to it.
All right. Let's see. John Dizon asks, what was the last movie that made you cry? Just watched The Karate Kid 2 last
Nice.
night. When Mr. Miyagi cries, we all cry.
Oh man.
Good call. Last one that made me tear up.
Last one that made me tear up.
Oh, you know what it was? It's a crap movie, but The Secret in Their Eyes with Julia Roberts.
Well, they're pulling at your heartstrings with that one.
The thing, first of all, my wife kind of looks like Julia Roberts. So when then she finds her daughter in a dumpster and like just loses it and breaks down, and I was like, I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. But the movie was garbage.
I think someone asked a question about some Pixar films recently, and I think that moment with I got a little misty-eyed with not cried, but misty-eyed with the Bing Bong.
Oh yeah,
Bing Bong.
yeah, there you go.
That's a
good
Yeah.
point.
Sacrifices himself.
Yeah.
12 Years a Slave. Someone said that was a tough one.
I was just thinking the last one I remember being in a theater like, oh my god, I'm tearing up. Was Selma. There's like it was like 3 cries in that movie. One of sadness and one of kind of like joy and like happiness towards the end. Like when he gives that speech, it was like so rousing. I was like tearing up like.
Not Creed.
Creed was tears of joy.
Yeah.
That was a little bit differently. That was more like the Creed movie was just like so
No,
pumped.
There's some moments.
The
yes,
locker room scene. The
well,
locker
The
room
locker room
Yes,
scene, and when he
okay.
says, "I want to prove I'm not a mistake,"
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh,
That hit me hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna. So Creed was the last one. Before that, Selma.
Natasha, when was the last time you cried at a movie?
Room, I
Room's a good one." Yeah.
Not The Room.
no,
Room.
I haven't
Tear
cried
me
that
apart,
hard.
Natasha.
I haven't cried that hard in a movie theater in so long. I was so tense, especially when they finally get rescued. and I was
Okay.
just
For me, it was the
done.
haircut scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it, but that teared me up a little bit too. actually.
The Room, you could cry from the
laughter.
the crimes against filmmaking that happened in that
How
movie.
dare you, sir?
Hey, but we're getting
Thank you.
a great James Franco movie based on
I
the
cannot
book,
wait
which
for
That's
the
when we'll do
Disaster
the
Artist.
Room commentary.
Yeah, that's
Is
gonna
right
be
before Disaster Artist, or someone said they changed the title
Is it-
to the Masterpiece or something like that.
Oh,
don't
I
know.
hope not. The Disaster Artist is
Yeah,
a great
perfect.
title.
Is it because he's making a cameo in it? Because they're actually getting Tommy Wiseau to make a cameo.
That's
in
even
it.
better. I can't wait for that movie.
Yeah.
I can't wait for our
I
commentary.
know. I'm so bummed that I didn't put The Disaster Artist on my most anticipated movies of 2016. I can't wait for that movie. I think it's going to be so outrageous. I heard Seth Rogen on some radio interview talking about it, how they decided to make this movie, and just they get it. They get this movie and why it was such a phenomenon. So yeah, I can't wait.
Franco, perfect casting.
So good, and his brother
as-
too. Yeah.
All right, let's do two more.
Okay, Lover of Comics 94 asks, do you think that in our lifetime we will ever see cooperation between Fox and Marvel Studios, maybe an X-Men versus Avengers?
Lifetime? Maybe. Anytime recently? I don't think so.
You know, Lifetime, you always say maybe, but no, not it. Had X-Men First Class bombed, then I would say yes, we probably would see that soon. We probably would have already seen it. But X-Men's getting themselves back on track and basically creating their whole shared universe through the X-Men with Deadpool, with the New Mutants if they decide to do that as well. With X-Force, they have a big franchise now. They don't need Marvel.
Hasn't Deadpool become the highest grossing Fox Marvel film now?
Is that true?
I think
one of
so.
the highest,
I think it's higher than all the X-Men.
All
Wow.
X-Men, it is, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's hard to say because I never want to say never.
Right.
Because I would have told you Sony will never let go of Spider-Man and let him into Marvel. It's like, how do you let go of Spider-Man, $1 billion franchise? So who knows? In Fantastic Four, like now that was there even rumors they might work with Marvel on that one?
No,
at some
Fantastic
point?
Four is a possibility.
Yeah,
Well,
but-
that might just come back to
That
That
Marvel.
might just
that's
come
what's
back to
gonna
Marvel.
happen, yeah.
I mean, I would love it. But there's nothing would make me happier. Like I love seeing Spider-Man and Civil War. To see Wolverine part of that
Yeah,
group
something's
would
gonna
just
happen.
give us Wolverine. Keep everybody else. Just let us use Wolverine for one movie, and I'll be happy.
All right, last one.
Michael Beltran asks, have you guys heard anything else about the Stargate reboot, and what are your thoughts on it being rebooted?
I quite enjoyed the first one. That was a Roland Emmerich film. That was back when James Spader was super young. And Kurt Russell
Yeah.
as
Kurt
well.
Russell.
I liked it, and then they spawned off like a huge television series.
Oh,
They
yeah.
had a
Momoa
bunch-
was in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in one of them. They
Yeah.
had, I think
Atlantis,
yeah,
maybe?
Atlantis. They had like SGU, SG Atlantis, SG this, SG that.
Yep.
So I wouldn't mind seeing a rebooted movie.
I wouldn't mind seeing a rebooted movie either. What was the first part of that question was? Did you
If
hear
we
anything
heard
about it?
anything.
No, I haven't heard
No.
anything about it,
Yeah.
but I do. I think it absolutely would lend itself. Because the first one I did like as well too, but it didn't have the genre. It wasn't as popular as it is now, and I think that that studios would be more inclined to add more budget to it. And I think that that's a movie that actually a lot of times I'm like, let's not go too crazy. That movie could benefit from a little bit more budget than it had the first run.
What about a nostalgic sequel, like the question before?
Yeah.
Why
Oh,
not do a
Stargate.
Stargate 2?
Sure.
Bring
Answer our
back
question.
James Spader, bring back Kurt Russell.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, going back and watch the first one, it's a really good story. It's really interesting and has some cool action set pieces. But the thing that doesn't hold up the most is the special effects. So if you can remake it with better special effects, I say why not?
Right.
Isn't that what they're doing with Independence Day?
Yeah,
they're making
pretty
a
much.
sequel
But
with better visual effects.
It's a sequel, but are they asking for a remake or a sequel?
They're asking for a reboot.
Yeah,
I'm saying
reboot,
maybe
okay.
we could do a
Yeah, why
a
not?
sequel.
Go ahead. If Independence Day's a big hit, go back to the well.
Yeah.
Next Target.
All right, guys, that's it for today's show. And I thank people join us on the panel today. JTE, where can people find you?
You guys catch me at Schmoes JTE. I'm on Screen Junkies Plus, and I jump on movie fights once in a while. Also, Schmoes Know every Thursday, and you can catch me on my own YouTube channel, JT Movie Thinks, where I just reviewed Civil War. Spoiler review coming soon.
Kristian?
Well, you can find me. I know this guy's scared out of his mind to talk about it. So today we are going to be playing against JTE and Finstock for the titles. That's why this character's in the studio today. And I'll tell you what, it is going to, I'll say this about JT. As you saw today, the man knows his movies. And I give him props on that. But there's only so long you can carry Finstock on your back. That sock beard has to be getting really heavy. It's got to be weighing you down. And I think that your luck has run out. You beat Dennis and Schnapp. That was pretty lucky.
We did.
You beat Roca and Nost. That was pretty lucky. And then you beat Campia and Tiffany. Also pretty lucky. So I think the luck's going to run out today.
I don't know how much luck I actually need because I think lately Finstock has actually proven that he could be a formal opponent. He beat Schnepp. We beat Schnepp twice actually as a team, and he's did it individually. So I feel like there's a thin line between cockiness and confidence. I have both right now because I feel like we're gonna win this thing.
But how did you do last week?
Last week I did fairly well. Actually, I said in afterwards, you know what? I'm pretty happy with my performance. Listen, he rolled Star Wars. The Master Jedi of Yodi pulled Star Wars. That's the way the game rolls. Sometimes it comes down to what you spin. I'll be back though, and I feel like there'll be a different outcome when I do come back.
Well, don't forget your gym sock. You can find me at Kristian Harloff, Twitter and Instagram, and winning the titles with Mark Ellis today, 2 p.m. PST on this very channel. And if you didn't know, we had an interview with Bloodline author Claudia Gray on the channel yesterday. You also put some of that in yesterday's Jedi Council. You should go and check it out.
Hey, Natasha, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at NatashaAlexis_, and follow my Facebook fan page, Facebook.com/NatashaAlexisMartinez.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at ThinkHero or Instagram, Dennis.tzeng. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Collider Videos. Also, like I said, we have our Civil War spoilers review that's up. We also have an interview with the Russo brothers. Check that out on our channel. And we will see you guys next week or this weekend with me and Kristian on Mailbag.
Hey guys, if you like this video, click the thumbs up button. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll help you stay up to date with everything we've got going on here at Collider.